What's up, guys, and welcome back to S'mores, a Campfire Talk. So last week we talked about movies. Some different aspects we talked about was the actors, also the script or the story, how that goes into the movie, as well as like the importance of it in regards to if the characters are better. So if you're interested into looking at that kind of stuff, go ahead and check out our last week's video. Leave a comment if we'd love to hear your guys' input on that. For this week, we're going to be talking about our top 10 most nostalgic songs. So for me personally, I had issues with making a top 10 list. How did you guys go about it?
I just chose 10 of the songs that I like the most. And then just put them in not really a list, I just put them on a notepad.
And let's go around the room really quick. So everybody quickly introduce yourself.
Your girl is
Jade.
Lauren, aka L Dog. Kaylee.
And Bentley.
And it's your boy Ricky, hosting today. So I guess oh shoot. Let me start it over. So me personally, I had a problem with choosing a top 10 because I had so many songs that were nostalgic. How do you guys feel about choosing a top 10?
I struggled a lot, bro. I had so many songs I wanted to pick. And then I got it down to 15, and then you were like, you can only have 10. And then I cried over the last 5 songs that I had to cut out. I was like, oh no. But yeah, I struggled a lot.
Yeah, nostalgia for me was like kind of weird, I guess, because I realized that nostalgia wasn't really like the songs that I remember and enjoy like a lot. It's just the things that, were played in my mom's car a lot, sort of thing. So I heard them over and over again. For me, that's like nostalgia. So like whenever I hear it, I'm like, oh, I remember that instead of, oh, I like that, if that makes sense. Of course, I like the songs. It's just not something that I would choose like nowadays to listen to because, whenever you're younger, the music aux cord is not in your control. So you have to listen to whatever your parents like or whoever you were with likes. So that was sort of like nostalgia songs for me. And I don't know if that goes with everybody else, but that's going to be my list. This is what I heard on the radio a lot or, my mom's iPod.
Are you going to say something? No, I didn't. I have trouble figuring out 10 songs, mostly because I didn't think I had 10 to choose from. And also I started to realize, like, trying to go through the songs that there's, like, different kinds of nostalgia, I guess. It's kind of like what Lauren was saying. It's like, oh, you're a little kid and you hear this song. Or it's like a, I guess, intense experience that you have in the past while you listen to that song. So I feel like it was like 2 different kinds where it's like it could be repeated over the course of like being a kid or like something else, like a major event that happens that's connected to that song. So that's what I was kind of like trying to choose between. And then, yeah, so I had problems.
And like, yeah, my problem was I didn't feel like I had that many because starting out I only had like 4 songs. And then as I started to like pick apart more and more songs, like the list kind of just grew. So finally, after, thinking about what they said, as in hearing it in the car all the time or personal experience, like today, I finally got like the last like song that like solidified my list.
Did you guys like happen to count how many songs you got to? If it was like you guys can pick 10? I'm kind of curious, Isabel, how many songs did you go through?
So I was scrolling through my music that I had on my phone already because, I mean, pretty much all I listened to was like early 2000s music, which is pretty much all my nostalgic songs. And so I just kind of was scrolling through, and whichever song I could equate a memory to, like a specific moment in time, I threw into a playlist. And then when I got on that playlist, I had like 40-some songs. And then I was like, okay, what ones affected me most, I guess? Not like really like affected me, but which ones I could remember the best of like a specific feeling that it brought or something. And so then I started getting rid of songs based on that. And again, I ended up with 15 songs, and I was like, all 15 of these are real good. But then there were a few of them that were kind of down for like the same reason. So then for those ones that were like, I guess like kind of duplicates, I just kind of cut off the second song. And then, yeah, because like on my songs that I have on here, like some of them I don't even really like the song anymore. Like I don't really enjoy the song, but it brings back a memory, which is why I have it here. So
Okay, cool. Kaylee, I'm kind of interested in what you said. The different nostalgia feelings. What can you explain that a little bit more?
I was thinking like, to me, nostalgia is like, it's weird because I can listen to a song for the first time and have that feeling of nostalgia, quote unquote. So it's a I don't know what you want to call it, like a weird kind of ghost of a feeling where it's like I feel like I've like lived my life already in this song. Like I've lost my long lost lover in this song. Like like it brings back memories you don't have, which is something I don't appreciate about nostalgia, by the way. It's like what, you're a liar. That's what you are. Like it's like, stop. Well, this is not me. But yeah, nostalgia is weird like that to me. But there's that kind of nostalgia where it's just like, I don't know where it comes from. I don't know. It's the notes in the song or whatever, but it brings back like a memory of something that's not there. And then there's nostalgia where it's just, to me, like I've heard it before. And I know I've heard it like in the past, but it's just kind of it's like vague to me. Like it's not, I don't know. It's not like a full memory. It's just like something I've heard like throughout, that's like integrated throughout my life, but I don't really, I wasn't like directly connected to it, if that makes sense. And then there's nostalgia where it's like an actual like experience that I've like felt, or a feeling that I've had, and I've listened to that song while that's going on. So that's kind of like what I was thinking.
Okay, interesting. Okay. So I asked everybody this week to make a top 10 list of their most nostalgic songs. So we're going to go through the top 7 first of everybody, and we're going to elaborate more on the top 3 because I feel like that's the one where we have, I guess, like more beef behind it. So, so let's just go down the line. Go ahead, Isabel.
Oh, am I starting? Okay. Can we start?
Go ahead, Isabel. Oh, me?
Can we start with Bentley while I'm still picking my 3? I got 2. I just need that third one.
Sure. We
can
can
go
do that.
Bentley,
Just
go
give me more
last.
time. All right, Troy, go ahead, bro.
All right, so my list: Always and Forever, Luther Vandross. She Ain't You, Chris Brown. Sensual Seduction, Snoop Dogg.
Sensual.
That's a childhood one. Wanna Be Starting Something, Michael Jackson. Flashing Lights, Kanye West.
Immediately comes to mind.
Wifing You, Montana 300. It's not the type of song you think it is, but it might be. And like the last 4, I struggle between It's Going Down, Young Jock, Kick Push, Lupe Fiasco. You want me to go like finish the list?
No, just top 7.
Is it 7? Okay.
Yeah.
Those 2 are kind of like, they're like iffy ones, I guess you could say. I wasn't sure.
Okay. Wait.
I don't know. These were like weird for me. There. But I put Killers by Mr. Brightside. I put Runaway by Galantis. Midnight City. I think it's M83, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Brightside by the
Isabel got offended.
Sorry. I love that song.
Killers, same thing. Trees by 21 Pilots. I put Hero by Nickelback on there, and I'll explain that.
Dang.
Oh my god, you just brought back a banger song from my childhood.
Dude, I know. I almost put a
I did not
Nickelback
expect
song.
that.
I almost put a Nickelback song on my list, and then I was like, I'm about to be attacked for this, so I took it
I
off.
know. I was like, I'm
Hey,
gonna
you
do
got
it.
an ally, Isabel.
I'ma do
Unexpected.
it.
Yeah.
And then I put Ribs by Lord.
Dang.
Ribs.
Oh Lord.
Okay, so my top 10 list has now sort of changed ever since you mentioned that. One of them is Hero by Skrillet, I think it's called. You know, remember that one? It's like the Christian rock band or something. I need a hero to save me.
I love that
I
band.
need a hero, save me now. No,
Yes,
I think
dude.
bro,
I love that band.
was
I
a
love
banging
that band
song
so
whenever I
much.
was little. You know what I'm
Not
saying?
heard
I
of
got
that.
like
What?
30 listens.
Really?
Dude, they're so good.
It's so good.
That song,
It's a
Monster.
banger.
They got
Okay,
But
cool.
anyway, that's one.
Oh, dang.
Avril Lavigne, Skater Boy is one. Flow Rider, Right Round. And then one of them was Owl City Fireflies. Coldplay, Viva La Vida.
Yes.
Big Girls Don't Cry by Fergie. Your Love Is My Drug by Kesha. Lose Yourself by Eminem. And then Flow Rida, Wild Ones. So those are mine.
Fun fact: first time I heard "Big Girls Don't Cry" was at a talent show in elementary school, and this girl was legit crying as she sang the song. I was like, "What's going on?" I just came to America, so I was like, "What is this?
I came to America.
What is happening here?"
Oh my goodness. No, but after this, y'all have to listen to that band. It's really
Okay,
good. Like,
yeah,
I actually
for sure.
enjoy that band to this day.
Dude, I got a lot of their songs on my phone. I can pull on my speaker. I got y'all.
All right, cool, man.
Watch, hold on.
For sure,
If
for
I
sure.
just like,
Alrighty, Jenny.
Okay.
Jitty.
Are we doing like all 10 songs?
No,
or-
just 7.
Oh, no, just
Okay.
7, and then we'll go
That's what I was
top
like.
3 to like. be more.
Okay, so my first one is Monsters by Eminem featuring Rihanna. That's not my favorite one, but it does give me the most nostalgia
Yeah.
feeling. I'll tell you later. And then the second one is Deuces by Chris Brown. Love that one, man. And then the third one is What You Say by Jason Derulo.
Oh, Jason Derulo. Yeah.
4 is All of the Lights. I actually
you are really.
I actually
screaming and
don't
Oh
know.
my God, Jade, it's red.
Oh, I don't know. I'm talking normal. I don't know.
Home.
I don't know. Hello.
Back the
Hello.
mic up a little bit. That might help.
Hey, I was one of the loudest on this last one. So you all need to speak up. Anyways, we have All of the Lights.
Oh God.
I forgot who that's by.
Kanye.
Yeah,
All the
Kanye. And then 5 is How to Love by Lil Wayne. Love him. God, he's so good. Okay, 6 is You Got It Bad by Usher. And 7 is Knocks You Down by Carrie Hilson.
Okay.
okay. So for my songs, I have Smile for the Camera by Armor for Sleep. Welcome Home by Coheed and Cambria. The Real Slim Shady by Eminem. There's a story behind that one that I guess you're not going to know. In the End by Linkin Park. Feel Good Inc. by Gorillaz.
Oh.
I'm So Sick by Flyleaf. And then My Happy Ending by Avril Lavigne.
Alrighty. Your list. Let's
All
go.
right. So, lastly, my top 7, starting from 10 to 4, is going to be Everybody Talks by Neon Trees, Little Wonders by Rob Thomas. It's from the movie Meet the Robinsons. I don't know if you guys ever watched that movie growing up. Life is a Highway by, I wrote Cars/Rascal Flatts because I first heard it by Cars.
I don't like country, but I actually like that
Yeah,
song a lot.
yeah.
Because,
See,
like,
if Isabel can like the song, and Isabel hates country, that says something about the song.
Again, dude, I actually thought about putting that song on my list.
Really?
To be
That's
honest,
crazy
yeah.
to put it on your list too.
I thought about it. It was one of the songs in the playlist, and then I was like,
Wow.
I'm taking this one out.
I'm
But-
surprised, Isabel. I'm shocked.
Nostalgic.
Number 7 is gonna be What's New Scooby Doo by Octopus Montage. Like the opening of that, I just love it so much. Umbrella by Rihanna.
Dude, oh my god, dude, I thought about that song too. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a
bro.
tough list, man. I had to make some tough cuts. You know what I mean? There'll only be 10 people on the roster. And then 5 was Middle by Jimmy Eat World, and then 4 was Rude by Magic. Each one has a story, but yeah. Okay, so we got the top 7 out of the way, and now get some juicy stuff. So like top 3, starting with Troy. What is your top 3?
All right, so top 3. I'll start with "It's Going Down" by Young Jock. That was a song I used to listen to a lot in like elementary school, and the biggest like memory I get from that was back when I lived in Georgia. We used to have school dances in the cafeteria, and when that song like came on, everybody turned up, like like the whole school. That song and "Crank That" by Soulja Boy. Like you could see everybody like so hyped dancing and everything. So that was a really big song for me. My next song I'd say is "Lean Back," Terror Squad. That was honestly one of my favorite songs today. Growing up, I used to listen to it. That was a song that came from listening to like in the car with my family and everything, and the whole car would shake because we're all bumping back and forth.
Bro, it's so strong on that song.
So that one always brings back memories. And one of my last songs is "Into Yesterday" by Sugar Ray.
Yes.
That song came from a movie called Surf's Up, and I don't know, like that movie was so big kind of in my childhood, and it's not even like, I guess you could say like the greatest movie or whatever, but back when I had a PSP, that was one of like the only movies I like had for it. So that kind of brings me back to like childhood. I had a PSP, I used to play it all the time. That was one of the only movies I really I watched at the time, just because I could or whatever. And like I would rewind like certain parts of it, which is kind of a bad habit now, because like I'll see the movie again and like I won't laugh anymore because I burnt myself out.
Freaking big.
Like I love those I love the part still, but it's like I don't laugh anymore because I've seen it so many times. But yeah, that's pretty much my like big three.
Mhm. Wait, so you guys had school dances in elementary school?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Me turn. Okay. It's hard, top three, bro. I'm putting him in like a circle. You can see the diagram. Top three is just, I don't know which one's the first one. There's three of them. So yeah, these aren't in any particular order, but they're all like the same level to me. It's basically Trees by 21 Pilots. That's my first one. Ribs by Lorde. And Hero by Nickelback, which I actually want to talk about Hero by Nickelback first. Because, like, I used to watch, if anybody has seen, like, the first Spider-Man series with Tobey Maguire.
Mm-hmm.
I used to watch that a lot as a kid. Like, that was my, like, favorite movie. My brother would, like, put it on to play it for me. And it was just, like, it's a great memory. And they always play, like, that's the song that plays at the end of the first film. So whenever I hear that song, it's like tunnel vision, like right back to that exact moment watching those movies. And so that's why I like that song a lot. And I know Nickelback gets like a lot of hate from everybody, but I really like genuinely don't mind a lot of their songs. Like there's good memories attached to them. Yeah.
Why does Nickelback get so much slack?
I think it's because people think all their songs sound the same. I think that's part of it.
Okay.
See,
But
again,
that's
like I
hypocritical.
don't mind. I don't mind Nickelback. Like I've got some Nickelback
I've
songs.
never
on my phone.
hated them. Like
Yeah, like I enjoyed them when I was younger.
yeah, I
But I
feel
just-
like they tried. Like
I feel like that was like
Oh, I
a
just thought of a
3-year
song.
generation where like everybody just like betrayed Nickelback, and like the whole like environment is just like hate them, and now we
Yeah.
had to hate them, and I was like, I don't know why, but I'm gonna do it.
you grew up with. How dare you?
Yeah, like Rock Stars by Nickelback, and If Today Was Your Last Day by Nickelback.
Oh yeah.
Almost
Oh
made
my
it on my
God.
list. Those two songs, bro.
You have to.
Yeah, like they're not. They don't. I feel like they don't deserve it that much. Okay, did you talk about your other two songs? Is that what you did? Okay, because I don't remember. Okay. So, Trees by 21 Pilots. Like that's one of the first songs I heard from them, and it was in a really like, I don't even know if you could probably call it nostalgia, but it was also like a not fun time of my life, I guess, where I found that band. So it was one of the first songs I heard about them, and it was a really cool moment, I guess, when I heard that song. So that's why it's one of my top songs. And then Ribs by Lorde. A lot of like half of that, you know what, that whole album basically was like whenever that came out, I would like, that was like ultimate summertime, like playing video games, listening to those songs. That was like all of summer, that like Lorde ruled that summer of like those songs. So I love all of those songs by her. And yeah, Ribs is just like, I don't know, I keep coming back to it because it's one of those songs where it's like it talks about like growing up and like getting older and stuff. And so I can always come back to it no matter like what age I am and feel like some kind of way about it. So that's why I like it.
Cool. So I guess going down, I kind of labeled these off of if I had a song or a story about them or not, because again, a lot of these are just like I was in the car and this was what was playing, and so I had to listen to it. But All the Small Things by Blink-182 was like my favorite Guitar Hero song of all time, and so I played that song all the time on Guitar Hero, and so I think that's like a big nostalgia factor for me, like sort of like video games, I guess. But I just spent too many hours on that song, like hours playing that song. It's dumb, so dumb. And then Linkin Park, What I've Done. For some reason, like I know the Transformers movies get a lot of slack, but that's actually what like introduced me to Linkin Park. And so when I watched a ton of Transformers because my brother was a big fan of Transformers, and Linkin Park, especially like What I've Done, is like a really good song to me still to this day. Like I really like it, but that's what like got me into like Transformers and all that kind of stuff. Am I a big fan of Transformers now? No. But we all know why. And then my one song, y'all gonna love me for this. Evanescence, Bring Me to Life.
Oh shoot!
Like the Wake Me Up Inside song.
Yeah.
This one, I don't know. I just have a memory attached to this because of like my mom listened to the song for a very specific reason, and I didn't realize why until I was older. But she played it like Evanescence all the time, and so to me, it's sort of like per se a connection to my past, which is why I like it a lot. And bonus round. My 8th grade year, I had to travel back from North Carolina, and you know how like you can't have like data. Like my mom only had like 2 gigabytes of data, so we had to listen to download music. We listened to the 50 Shades of Grey album the entire trip, and so I know all of those songs by heart. If you want to talk about nostalgia, I get PTSD if I listen to any song on that album. I literally like start crying. Like I can't like just imagine it on repeat like the whole time.
Oh, man, hours.
Love Me Like You Do by freaking it's no, I can't listen to it. I can't listen to it anymore. Love Me Like You No.
Love me like you do. I can't listen to it a lot.
I mean, the song kind of annoying, so.
I can't deal with it. But anyways, yeah, that's my top 3. So
So here's the problem. But I did my 1 through 7, not my 10 through 4. So I'm gonna just go and do my top 3.
All right,
Sorry
dude.
about your luck, partners.
Do you want to say those last 3 that you didn't name them?
No, it's fine. We're
Okay.
good. Oh my god. Give me a moment.
Let's take a selfie.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Should I get it up right here?
First,
Yeah,
let's
she
take
couldn't
a
remember her password, so she had to use the Face ID. So she was like,
Okay, so actually we'll add one song to this. I'd give number 3 to Empire State of Mind
Okay.
by Alicia Keys and somebody else.
Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Jay-Z. Somebody else is
Damn.
Jay-Z.
Oh,
He did the
We
verses.
just destroyed that.
this song gives me so many memories because I feel like it's the song that was played a lot in my house by the women in my family when I was younger. Oh, by the woman in my family when I was younger. So that's why that's number 3. And then number 2, I actually don't know. All of the Lights, low key, because that song was like the jam when I was younger. I loved that song. And then my brother was always listening to it. I was always listening to it. His friends were always listening to it. It was always on. Like All of the Lights, it was the jam. And then number 1 is Monsters, because not because it's my favorite, but because when I was like 6, my best friend showed me the song. And then we would just have dance parties in my room to it and act like we were in a music video about the monsters. So that was fun. And that's what gives me the most nostalgia.
Who's Monsters by? Monsters by?
Eminem and Rihanna.
Oh,
I'm friends
I've
with
never-
the monsters.
Oh, okay. I
At
was
first
like,
until that right there.
okay, yeah, you had to sing it. I could not think of it. Yeah.
okay, my very, oh, it was so hard to choose these. But, here we go. So again, no particular order of these three. Like Haley, it's a circle. It's just they had memories to these. So the first one, Pretty Fly for a White Guy by The Offspring. This song, I love The Offspring to this day. So good. But the song, I specifically remember a moment. It was all of my family sitting around the computer in my parents' room. I was little. Because the song came out in like 98, so I wasn't even born when the song came out. But I remember sitting with my family. My brother wasn't there because, again, I think he was too young to really care about music. But I just remember all of us sitting there and then singing the song and then laughing at the song and watching the video. And then my dad had to explain the jokes to me because, again, I was little. I didn't understand the jokes. Like the line where he's like, he asked for a 13, but they drew a 31. Pretty much like, it was like a gang tattoo or whatever. And the tattoo artist was like, nah, man. Like, he's like, you're not up for that. So, so just like stuff like that is kind of what that one reminds me of. Is just like my family kind of sitting there like singing the song, kind of laughing about it. The next one would be Thanks for the Memories by Fall Out Boy. This one.
Sharp inhale. Insert here.
Yeah. So this one always reminds me of Easter. Okay, so second song. Thanks for the Memories by Fall Out Boy. This song reminds me of Easter. Again, a weird song to remind you of Easter, but So I had this cousin that would, he doesn't do it anymore, but they would always, him and his mom would always come over to our house for Easter every single year. And I remember we were in my sister's room, MTV was playing, and that music video came on. And then it was the three of us sitting on her bed, and then he sits there, and he's older than me, but younger than my sister. She's 26, I'm 19, so he's somewhere in between there. I don't actually know his age, to be honest. I feel a little bad. But and I remember sitting there, and he was there, because if you've seen the music video, they're performing, and then there's like a bunch of like chimps in the video, Kim Kardashian's in the video, the weirdest thing. But then behind them where they're playing, it has FOB in lights, again, for Fall Out Boy. And so he goes, and he was sitting there, he's like, you know what, Ariel? He was like, I didn't understand why FOB was in the background. He's like, until just now, it finally hit me. Because at the end of the video, it pops up like, oh yeah, the artist, the name of the song, like the album and everything. You know, like the little white letters on the bottom. He was like, oh, it stands for Fall Out Boy. So it's just like, I don't know why that stuck with me, but it just makes me laugh really hard. So every time I hear that song, I think of Easter, and I think of this specific cousin in specific. And then the last one is Empty Walls by Serge Tankian, whatever. He's the lead singer for System of a Down. This was one of his solo songs that he did. And this one makes me laugh. So again, little me, all of these are little Isabel stories. My sister had a MySpace. I didn't really know what MySpace was, except that I could play music off of it. So I would log into her MySpace. We actually rediscovered the song about a month ago. But when I was younger, I would log into her MySpace, and I remember just typing in like S into the search bar because I didn't know how to spell this man's name. Because it's Serge, but it's Serj, and then Tankian, I think is how you say his last name. I don't know. But I remember typing in an S, I would hit enter, and then it was like the first result because she would listen to that song all the time, which is how I had originally found it. And so I would click it, and I would just watch the music video. And all I could not remember what the song sounded like. I could not tell you the words. All I remembered of that recently was just there were a bunch of kids in a ball pit, and this man had a top hat on. And so it was actually a few weeks ago, I was talking to my sister, and I was like, are you saying your MySpace? And she was like, how did you know the password? I was like, I don't know, but I did, and I got in. And I was talking to her about it, and I was like, it was on your MySpace. I was like, I would type in one letter. I was like, and I remember it was the first result that would pop up. And I told her, I was like, there are a bunch of kids in a ball pit and then a man with a top hat. And I was like, he had some kind of like facial hair. She's like, I don't know. And then she kind of sat there for a minute, and she was like, the only top hat I can think of is the singer for System of a Down. So we looked, and we found the song, and it was that song. And this happened like a month ago. That story of my sister and I like rediscovering was pretty recent. But yeah, so that just reminds me, because I used to do that a lot, because it was between this song and then What's It Feel Like to Be a Ghost by Taking Back Sunday, because that was also a song that I would listen to off of her MySpace a lot. But just this one is the one, like, because we just had a conversation about this a month ago and, like, refound it. So I thought it was pretty funny. So, yeah, those are my top 3 songs.
I feel bad cutting off your other songs because, like,
Dude, all
there's
of
like
them had a story.
been
Every single song had a story, even my other 7, bro. That's why you're like, only 3. I was
I
like,
do
only 3.
apologize.
I was like, sir, wait.
Sir, wait. It's okay.
Do you understand why I had trouble picking
Yes,
10?
I
was like,
can
I have
see.
so
I
many
can see.
stories. I was like, please.
Okay. Last but not least, my turn.
I was like, wait, what? You're just gonna skip your turn?
So my top 3. Number 3 is same as one of Troy's songs, "Into Yesterday" by Sugar Ray. So for me, "Surfs Up" the movie was where this song when I first heard the song, and the reason why I like it is because it was the first time I was introduced to punk rock, and when I was a kid, and I really liked the sound of like the guitar and the drums beating and stuff like that, and the rhythm of it. And I was in Timor at the time, and I was like, I just picked this movie randomly, just because it had cool penguins in the beginning, in the front of it, and I watched it, and I actually really liked it. I liked, it's like Troy said, it's not the best of movies, but it's a good movies for like kids growing up. So, I just get memories of like Timor, I guess, like being back there, just like getting my pirated movies and watching it, and Surf's Up was one of those movies and stuff, and like I'm listening to all these like American songs, like I never heard this genre before, and the sound, I was like, this is so cool. So that's what that kind of memories you get from Into Yesterday by Sugar Ray. Number 2 is Out of My League by Fitz and the Tantrum. This one was because it reminded me of a group I went with during my junior year of high school. I went to a National Park Youth Summit, and we were learning how to be ambassadors for the environment. And like the group of people I got to meet there, they're all from different parts of Arizona, and they were like really, really cool. And like that was like our song on the whole trip. Like we would play that in the van going to like different national parks. So we would go to like 5 of them in a course of 2 weeks, and that was just our song. Like there was like we would sing it with each other on the ride when we were there, when we were walking out. That always sticks with me because like I remember the reason why I went on that wasn't because I wanted to protect the environment, but because I wanted to go with somebody. I was like, hey, my friend's going, I'm gonna go with them, and then they ended up bailing, and I was like, I'm too far in this. I need to see it through. So I ended up going. At the beginning I was like, I don't want to be here, why am I here? But then I actually started like listening to what they were trying to do, and then meeting the people. That was like really cool. So like I gave that trip kind of like contributes to like my care of the environment, because like before I didn't, but now I do. Shout out to Seos 2017. You know who you are out there. Lastly is Blue Collar Boys by Luke Combs. It is a
I
know what you're talking about.
It is a country song, and the thing I love about it is it reminds me of all the many countless hours I spent on the baseball field. Because you can't play baseball without listening to country music. You just can't. Like my coach, he's a country guy. He played only country music at practice. All my teammates, all rednecks. And if they're not rednecks, they're Mexican rednecks. Like, so we listen to country, and we listen to that for hours. I just, it brings me back to memories of like, trying to work with my team, trying to win a state championship, trying to like be ready for our games. It's like just like that brotherhood and that bond. So anytime I listen to country music or Luke Combs in general, I get that feeling, especially like Blue Collar Boys, because we were like Boyna, we're a good team, baseball team, but we were always underdogs. So I always felt like we had to work hard versus like everything given to us. Like that song really resonates with me because I'm like, yeah, because we're working really hard too.
You're giving away our location, bro.
Man, shut up.
Man, come here, fight me.
Do not
We
come.
graduated.
Do not come, please.
Graduated, but we still live here.
We
Don't
will
tell
call
them
the
that.
cops.
Now they
We
know
will
we still
call the
live here.
cops.
They know we're still here.
Guys, we have
It's
editing. We can cut it. It's all good.
Arizona.
Just like bleep the school
What's
name.
that boy now?
Yeah.
There's probably
Well,
some Buena
there is
schools
one
too,
in
yeah.
another where I'm not gonna say it because then they'll know which one we're at. there's two.
I was like, yeah, they are.
There's
more
two
than
of
one
them.
Buena, but
Yeah. So anyway, that's where I get
Figure it
from.
out,
Like,
come back to us.
yeah. That's what I like get
Guess in
from
the
country
house.
music and Luke Combs, like that memory of like baseball. So that's why I really, really like that song. Yeah. So I find it interesting you guys associated nostalgia with like negative stuff or like maybe like a bad stuff like that where you were in life. Because like I was looking up the definition, and it came up as a sentimental longing or wishful affection for the past, typically for a period of place with happy personal associations. So when I heard your guys is like that kind of area, I was like interested. Like, I guess like my question is, why do you guys partner those two together?
Partner what to?
I guess like a negative memory or negative spot you were in life with nostalgia.
Does anybody want to go first?
Well, I think the only ones that went
Yeah.
negative were you and Kaylee.
Yeah, I was like, I
yeah,
didn't
but
go
I can't
negative.
answer that.
Mine's
Yeah,
were all
the
good.
rest of us went happy memories except
How
for
was it
you
happy?
two.
Oh wait, I'm curious. Which one do you think was negative? Because I meant to be positive.
What?
Which one do you guys think was negative?
No.
Oh, no.
We're saying like the three, because you were asking like the group, and then they were like, who wants to go first? And I'm like, well, the only two that had negative emotions with it were Lauren and Kaylee. That's why
I
the
heard
other-
something else. I don't know what I heard.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
why the three of us were confused.
That's what I was like. Yeah, I was like, I have no idea what
Yeah,
you're
I was
talking about.
My emotions
yeah.
were positive.
I think you associate anything of memory with something in like real life. Per se, like a restaurant that you really like brings back a memory. A like type of clothing or type of genre or whatever, it brings back a memory. Sort of like Surf's Up for y'all brings back a memory. So for me, I guess nostalgia can go both ways because good and bad things happen in your life. And so for me, it wasn't really about like if I liked the song, it was like if I had like a strong memory of it. And that is what nostalgia is for me, is like being able to be like, oh, I remember this because of this. But that's just me. That's how I picture nostalgia. There was songs like who mentioned Thanks for the Memories. Like that's a great song and I love that song. I just don't have nostalgia from it, if that makes sense. It doesn't bring back like a memory per se or like a feeling. I'm just like, "Oh yeah, that's a great song." But there's nothing else connected to it. So, that's my thing about nostalgia.
Oh, that's what I saw nostalgia as, is like you wish for like a time in the past, or like you're thinking of like living in a moment in the past that you remember. And that's why I didn't sometimes I don't like nostalgia because it's like it brings me like a bittersweet, like sad kind of feeling. And I'm just like, but like, oh, like I'm longing for a time in the past as if like that's the best I'm going to have of a moment in the past, when that shouldn't be true because I don't know what the future is going to be like. So sometimes I don't like nostalgia for that reason, because I feel like it does that a lot, and that's a lot of like the feelings I get from it. So it's to me, it's always been a mix of like happy, sad, because it's like, oh, happy, this memory, and then it's like, oh, bittersweet because it's not here anymore, it's gone, blah blah blah. I'm not 12 anymore or something like that. So yeah, I guess that's why a lot of my songs that are also nostalgic are probably also like a sad kind of nostalgic. So
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question because I felt similar feelings trying to like figure out the songs initially. It wasn't until I looked at definition that I kind of like tuned those out and kind of just focused on, I guess, the good feeling ones. But yeah, when I was going through it, I was having troubles, I guess, picking between stuff that just gave me the vibes of nostalgia, but not really start giving me a memory, kind of like, or I listen to it in the car, I just get nostalgia vibes, but it doesn't really fall under the definition of nostalgia. Or a song that gives me nostalgia, it's associated with something not so good. So I was interested to hear your guys' perspective on that because I had similar thoughts as well.
And well, that's like with the songs I picked. While they are happy memories, yeah, there is that kind of bittersweet longing that you have for those memories. But I never thought of that as like a negative way, because you were like, oh yeah, these were happy moments, but you're sad because they're not here anymore. I kind of thought of it as like, oh yeah, those were happy memories, and I'm happy that they happened. I'm like, I'm not like sad. Like I don't want to go back there. I don't want to go back to being like 7, sitting in my parents' room jamming out to freaking Offspring. Like, yeah, they were happy memories, and I'm happy that they happened. Like, And like, yeah, there's that bittersweet longing for it, but it wasn't so much like, oh, I want to go back there. Like, so that's why I guess like I wouldn't have a problem with like nostalgic songs kind of in the way like you described. So I don't know. It's just weird hearing your thoughts because I never thought of it that way, as in being like sad for those memories.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Are you gonna go?
Yeah, kind of going off what Isabel said. I was gonna say something similar, like pretty much going like reflecting back on the past like that. Like it allows you to appreciate what happened in your life. So that's why you kind of mentioned bittersweet. I'm like, yeah, I feel that because things happen in my life where it's like, dang, I wish, maybe something could have been better. Like, things could have, I guess, been better. I don't know. Like, let me restart that. Because I could have, Where it's like, when you can, reflect back and, like, you can see how it was and, wow, I really liked how life was at that point. And then you grow or you move past it and it's like, I'm glad that it at least happened, So that's where I'm kind of like, I like that nostalgia feeling in a way. Like, wow, that was nice.
Mm.
Yeah, like I enjoy the nostalgic feeling. Like the He Who Shall Not Be Named on the podcast until they're here.
My god.
Yeah.
Voldemort.
Like,
by the way.
he always yells at me. He's like, why are you always in the past? And I'm like, because I enjoyed it. Like, again, like I don't want to go back, but it's just like, I don't know. I like reminiscing on things.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because, like, when I think of, like, the nostalgia feeling, I do think of, like, something that makes you, like, happy. For me, it always associates with a happy memory. So when I go back to those songs, I may have been in a not-so-good place, even when I was younger. But those memories were something that was always happy for me. So always reminiscing on them makes me smile. Because it's like, dang, those were some good times. But then I don't want to go back because Lord knows. Never want to go back. Yeah.
Like, I was just going to say, like, do you guys ever have those memories where it just sucked in the moment, right? Like, you were dying or, like, you're just feeling awful. You're legit dying. But when you look back on it, you somehow look back on it fondly. But at the time it was, like, horrible.
I think that's everybody's journey.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, do you remember whenever that happened? Yeah, do you remember that? And it's like, remember you were crying like all the time?
Like
yes.
No.
Yes. Like, hey, remember when this happened and then we started dancing in your room? That's where my nostalgia, like my random, like, and then we turned on music and we started dancing in your room because you were feeling sad. And I was like, oh my God, yeah.
I'll be honest, I didn't really have that many, like, kind of negative associations with it.
What?
And the biggest thing is, like, as a lot of my childhood, either I didn't remember or I didn't care.
That's my thing. Like, for me, nostalgia is just a memory. Like, I remember it, and I don't remember a lot of my childhood. I remember moments of my childhood. And so if there was a song associated with that memory, I counted it as nostalgia.
Like yeah, and a lot of times, even, like, in the moment or whatever, I'm always, like, in my own world. I've always been kind of in my, like daydreaming or something like that. So whatever was going around, like, didn't matter to me. So it was not much that I really had to, like, look back on, and, like, how you have, like, a million stories for, like, all your songs. Like, I struggled with my list basically because I didn't have a memory to put it to.
Yeah, it was more like a vibe.
Like, yeah. Like, I was, a few of these are just straight vibes.
Yeah, and that I totally feel the same way too with that. Like, a lot of songs I had to cut off. I was like, oh yeah, this is just a vibe song. Yeah, but I still get the sense of nostalgia.
Yeah, because that's what I had. I had a lot of vibe songs, but I also had a whole ton that had memories. That's where you're like, oh yeah, just pick 10, and I'm like, oh no. And then when you were like, okay, we're only discussing 3, and then I was like, oh no. Like, I don't know. It was difficult to choose. Because, yeah, like, there were a lot of vibe songs. Like, Green Day. Green Day is one of my favorite bands. And I tried fitting them in this list. I really did. But I just, again, there wasn't a specific memory associated with the songs. They were just all, like, kind of like vibe songs. But they all reminded me of, like, my childhood. Like, I was nostalgic for, like, the American Idiot album. Like, that whole thing, just every single song on that album brings, like, a nostalgic feeling, but there wasn't a specific memory associated with it. So that's why when I was making this list, I was like, as much as I love Green Day, I can't put them in the list because there was no memory. So, I struggled a lot with this. You said 10 songs, only discussing 3. I was like, oh
No
no.
need.
If you could notice, I was panicked before we started. I was like, help.
There was something I read about nostalgia like a few years ago because I was trying to figure out what that feeling meant. And like, I'm going to be like hard paraphrasing like real quick. But it was basically to the effect of nostalgia is like a liar because what it does is try to get you to romanticize the past. As in there's a moment where it makes you think like, oh my God, that was such a great like moment or great memory, when in reality, in that time of your life when you were 13, you were going through it, you were having issues. So that was like something that formed like my opinion about it as I got older. And something else that's weird, like I might just have issues with, I mean, definitely, shut up. But like I had that feeling at like 12, and that makes no sense to me. Like absolutely no sense. Because I got older and I was like, wait a second. I was like, that's like the feeling I have now. Nostalgia is the same feeling I had back in, 2010. Like I was like, and I was freaking 11. I was like, what kind of 11-year-old feels nostalgia? Makes no sense to me. I was like, how is that even possible? So that's when I tried to start figuring out like what that even meant. Like it was so weird. Like I do not understand it. Like I was like, what are you longing for in the past, 12-year-old? Like, what is your problem? I don't get it.
But see, with that too, like you were alive for such a short time. So things that were only like a couple years in the past to you it was a really long time because you had only existed for this itty bitty amount of time. So it's a little 11-year-old Kaylee. Well, you think about it now, you're like, bro, you'd barely been on this earth that long. Like, why are you reminiscing for the past? Like, but to you during that time, like, that was pretty, like, if you're 10, 2 years, like, that's so much of your life at that point, bro. Like, and then if you think about 10, think about you were 5, that's half your life. Half your life ago, you were freaking out about something when you were 5. A lost popsicle, I don't know what it was. But,
Lost balls.
yeah, that's
I like that example.
But even, I think I can get that, but like being 11, I don't know how far back my memory would even go at that point. Just like, what are you talking about? Like, you don't remember when you were 5? Sit down. No.
which makes it even worse because you only remembered this much.
I know, it doesn't make it better. Like, or chunks missing out of this history timeline.
This whole time you gotta like revive your freaking memory.
This is what I'm doing, I guess, for the rest of my life.
Fill in the
The
spaces.
Crunk Ain't Dead song?
Which, honestly, I don't know if I want to, because I'm doing pretty good right now.
So you think?
Yeah. Until I find something else.
Yeah.
Oh, also, wait, can I say a bonus song real
No.
quick?
Yes.
Please,
No.
please.
Yes.
The
You can cut it
freaking
out. Let's go.
PBS Kids. I used to watch that all of my childhood. And the
Oh,
Martha
my-
Speaks intro song. I don't know if anybody watched Martha Speaks like I did, but my God, I
What?
love that song. And that show was about a talking dog. Like she ate alphabet soup and then she learned to talk. And like,
Martha-
oh my God. It's
Oh no, yeah, I know that.
you love Martha Speaks.
Dude, no, that was like one of the songs I had to cut out. I had Blood Gulch Blues in here, which is the same song for Red vs. Blue, because Red vs. Blue was such a big part of my childhood, but I cut it out because I was like, I only got 10 spaces.
But PBS slaps. I don't
PBS
care what
Kids.
anybody else says.
Zaboomafoo.
Cartoon Network.
Zabooma.
Cartoon Network, yes, but like whenever you were little and you were at your
Kids.
religious nana's house, PBS.
Disney Channel.
PBS Kids.
PBS Kids. Curious George.
Disney
Oh my
Channel.
God.
Nickelodeon.
Nick and Nick.
So yeah, if you
Teen
want a
Nick.
happy one, like that's pure happiness. I freaking love that show. I'd still watch that show.
Alrighty. Sorry, we got off topic.
So okay, it's kind of cool because you guys kind of like went into my question, so like it's all good. So I'm just gonna. Okay, this is not gonna be in a thing, but I'm gonna say one more question, and Kaylee kind of touched on it, so we'll. I just want to hear your guys' thoughts on it. Okay, so I guess when you guys are finding yourself like romanticizing or longing for the past, what do you do? For example, do you ground yourself in the present, or do you let the emotions like flow through you?
I guess let the emotions kind of flow through you, because like as you're remembering it, because like I can picture things like when reading and stuff so vividly, it's kind of ridiculous. So when I think about it, I can remember where I'm at. I remember, like, you know, where the shadows were at, where the sun was at in the sky. Like, I can remember everything from my memories. And so that's why, like, I think of that. So, of course, like, the emotions have to flow. If I can see it that vividly, the emotions go. But then also, I read this thing somewhere that was like, every time you remember something, you're remembering the, I guess, last remembrance of it. So if you keep thinking about something, you're slowly bringing yourself further and further away from what you like truly saw. So like if you keep thinking back on a certain memory, you're remembering the thought of thinking that. So it slowly kind of like starts to fade away into the background. Keep thinking about it, and producer, like, you don't even know what it really was. So that's why, that's another thing that I was kind of thinking about while thinking about songs. It's because, again, like, I can see things in my mind so vividly, but then it's also kind of weird because it's like, what am I seeing if that was actually there? Am I making stuff up? Like, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'm making up the emotion. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I have a great time thinking about things, bro. Wonderful time.
So, like, with you saying that and how, you know, he who shall not be named mentioned how you live in the past, wouldn't you, like, I don't know. I feel like that would bring kind of a worry of, like, every time I go back and back and back, I'm losing. Like, I feel like that would bring a concern.
But it doesn't, again, yeah, it doesn't feel like I'm losing something. Like, again, yeah, because he who shall not be named, he's going to be so mad listening to this. But, yeah, because he says, like, I have trouble, like, living in the present. He's like, you're always remembering stuff. You don't like living in reality. So, so yeah, I don't know. Like, I enjoy the nostalgic feeling. And, like, I enjoy the emotions that, like, memories bring up. So, to bring all of that kind of didn't make sense back around to your question, I let the emotions kind of take over. I enjoy feeling the emotions.
I tend not to enjoy it as much as you, I think. Like, there could be a nostalgic memory and I don't, like, I'm just like, oh my God, like, I don't really want to think about this right now. Like, it's not today. Not today. So I actually kind of avoid it more, where I don't, or I also want to keep the memory as it is, kind of how you were talking about, which is why I don't go back to a lot of the things, like, that I like in my past, like whether it's like a physical thing, like a song or something. I kind of want to keep it how it is, and I'm better about it now as I'm older to not, I guess, hurt myself while thinking about it, because it's nostalgia is usually attached to like I said, a bittersweet kind of feeling, and that's like a strong feeling though, and I don't usually want to feel it that strongly, which is why I kind of avoid it. So as I've gotten older, I've gotten better about, like, if a song comes up, I'll be like, all right, like, I won't let it get that far is basically, yeah, what I try not to do. But, yeah, a lot of the time I don't, like, actively seek out those nostalgic things. I kind of, like, leave them where they are. I, like, put them on a shelf. I'm like, all right, they're there, but I don't want to touch it. Like,
Leave me alone.
yeah, leave me alone.
I think I'm more of the let the emotions, but not as bad as Isabel. But I do let the emotions flow when I go through my memory lane. That's all I'm going to say. Keep it short, Bam, bam.
Yeah, I don't know. If it's a good emotion, I guess I'll let it flow, but then at the same time, it's sort of like you need to stop because this isn't right now, sort of thing. But if it's like, let's say you've twisted, per se, nostalgia from like a bad to a good thing. I don't know how to describe it. It's sort of like you're trying to like rewrite the memory. I really try to like ground myself in like reality and like the checkpoints, basically. Like, that did not happen. And it's honestly like you have to keep on reminding your memory that that is not what exactly happened, because your mind will do anything to protect you. And so it will switch up anything it needs to make sure that you feel good. And so for me, it's sort of like, if it's good, yeah, it's good, and I'll let it hang on for a little bit, but I'm not going to be there long because I need to still remember what it actually was. And if it was bad, I'm going to make sure my brain doesn't switch it to be good. So.
Mm.
Okay, so me, this one was a little harder of a question because, like I said, I don't really have like that many like memories to go off of. So when nostalgia hits, it's never like that strong.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess like whenever like the feeling comes, I let it flow as much as possible because in a way I kind of like want to know what happened because I don't remember most of the time. So it's that, and also I use that to ground me because that's like who I was then, and I look at who I am now. So whether the memory's good or bad, it's like that's my journey. I want to know my story. So that's kind of why I just let whatever comes to me come.
For me, it's a combination of both. I like to say grounded in the present. However, I mean, I feel like the mind does what the mind does, but you get just how you handle it is where you don't let it affect you. So I let it flow, I let it go through, and I take it in and I accept like what happened in the past, kind of like it made me who I am. But then I make sure I'm still in reality. So like, okay, like, that's what happened, but we're not there right now. We're right here. So that's what I would say on that question.
Yeah. Sometimes it's good to go back. Sometimes when you go back, you remember who you are, and you're like, oh, that's who I am.
Oh.
When that
Yeah.
moment you just like, man, you going through it. You got to go back
Yeah.
and find who you are again.
All right, so that concludes our top 10 most nostalgic songs podcast. Let us know down below in the comments your guys' top 10, whether you agree with our list, maybe had some stuff similar, or maybe we missed something. Let us know. We'll be posting our top 10 songs down in the YouTube description, so you get to take a closer look at it. Yet again, thank you guys for listening, and we will see you guys later.
Thank you for choosing Sonic. Have a wonderful
Bye.
night.
Good job.
Not sponsored by Sonic, by the way.